Hi, everyone. My name's Jenny, and you are here for Parenting the Fascinating Way with Dr. Taniesha Burke. And we are on episode 21 already, and we are going to be talking about tips for managing children who hit. So help us out with that one, because that's common.
That's a question we also got on Facebook. So if you have questions, you can find me on Facebook in a parenting group called Positive Parenting with Dr. T. Once you join that group, you can also ask questions. So this is from one of our parents who seem to be struggling with this. So how do you deal with children who hit? Children who hit is like a form of communication. They're communicating that they don't feel connected or they don't feel a sense of belonging. And so they're basically saying, see me, I want you to give me some attention. What we have to do is we have to start teaching these children to have pro-social skills. And one pro-social skill is to not hit. How do we go about that? First thing you have to do, parents, is to teach children that when you hit, you are going to have to sit it out. What do I mean by sitting out? First of all, you have to say, what we use our hands for, like hugging and holding each other. We do not hit each other, and hitting makes people feel unsafe. When you hit me or you hit your friends, it is an unsafe environment for us. What you need to do is use your words instead. When you feel frustrated, you can say, I feel sad, I feel angry, I need to be alone right now, but you cannot hit. Now, how do you go about to get in that sit out situation? We're not promoting that you put your child in a timeout where they're still fuming.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is not good. That's not. Actually, when you isolate them, it actually has more, it actually does more harm to them as it relates to looking at the brain and how children deal with attachment issues.
Great point.
So, logical consequence. What I mean by logical consequence, you have to make sure that the consequence is related to the hitting. You have to make sure that it's just respectful to the child and also to those around, and it's reasonable for everybody and it's helpful for everybody. So how do you go about it? When your child hits, you remind them that your hands are for hugging, holding, and so on, and it's unsafe. You say to them, if you keep on hitting your friends, we're going to have to leave this room or this play area immediately.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave the area with them, you then say to them, the difference with timeout is this. You then say to them, when you're calmed down and you're ready to play respectfully and be kind to your friends, then we can go back. That's the difference. The other form of timeout is putting your child in timeout for 2-3 minutes, and they're not learning how to regulate their emotions.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is to teach children to understand their emotions and how to regulate them. So we say, we leave, and then you say, whenever you're calm, whenever you think you're ready to play with your friends respectfully, then we can leave, we can go back. The second thing is, if your child is hitting you, you can say, I'm really uncomfortable when you hit me. Hitting is not something that this family practice. If you need alone time, you can go to your room and take your time out. Or if you're going to continue to hit me, I am going to leave the room. One of the best places to go is to go to the bathroom. Just go lock yourself in there. The first time your children do it, and the first time you leave, they're not going to take it seriously. And they're going to realize that when you leave the room, then the connection that they want is no longer there. And they're going to realize, if I keep behaving in this way, I'm going to lose the connection that I have with mommy or daddy. So you leave the room, and then you can say, I will come back when you say it's okay for me to come back. I'm not going to hit anymore. So I'm waiting for you. When you say it's okay, I am going to behave differently, then I will open the door and I'll come back to you. Some parents, it might be a bit daunting for them to do that, but what you're trying to do is to teach children to regulate their behavior as much as possible. So you can leave the room with them if they're hitting you, if they're hitting their friends. Say to them, this is not appropriate. We respect each person's body and we keep our hands to ourselves. It seems like you're having a bad time and you need a timeout to just regroup. Let's go outside for a few minutes. And when you feel better, then we can go back in. And every time they do it, you do that. And stop trying to have a long lecture and explanation, because children do understand. If you say to them, you cannot have dessert until after dinner, they get it the first time, right?
Yes, they
And
sure
they
do.
are, yes. So sometimes they will test and say, maybe you're not serious. So every single time they hit, you have to be making sure you let them experience a natural consequence. A natural consequence is that you get separated from the group. So what you do is every single, it might be an inconvenience for you. You might be at a restaurant and you're about to have your dinner and your dinner will get cold. Get up and take them outside. Let's sit here and wait until you calm down. I'll sit with you. I'll support you. Let's sit here. When you're calm, then we can go back inside. And when they're calm, they'll say, Mommy or Daddy, I think I'm ready now. It's like, wonderful. Let's go. And you continue with having your dinner, for example, or they might continue playing with their friends. So that's my tip for how do you handle hitting children. It's important to teach them logical consequences, but those consequences must be related, they must be respectful, helpful to everybody, and very reasonable. And importantly, you're not disciplining children for them to not do certain things. Yes, that's important, but you're teaching them alternative. You're teaching them also how to regulate their emotions and how to regulate their behavior so that they can integrate more into social groups.
Tell me about, would you ever say something like that's mean, or if you hurt someone, you're going to hurt them physically, and that is not nice, and you know what I'm saying? Like beyond, of course they have to control their emotions, you know, remove them from it and help them to calm down. But is there any conversation also about just the social, that's not acceptable, that's a mean thing to do, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but you know what I'm saying? Like just morally, that isn't how we treat people.
Yes, you can say that we are very respectful of everybody's bodies. So you can say everybody's bodies belong to them, not us. So we're not in a place to violate someone's space and to violate someone's body. And then you can take it back to them. Would you want me to hit you? Would you want me to touch you unnecessarily? And they might say no. And you say yes, because it feels uncomfortable. And it makes you feel angry. It makes you feel annoyed. Those are some of the things that happen to others as well. So we have to learn to respect other people's spaces, and we also have to learn to respect other people's body. It's very important. So that's what you do, is that you have a discussion. Don't say you're being mean or anything like that. Just say, for example, your actions can be very hurtful to others, and you would not want someone to do something that's hurtful to you as well. The more they can relate it to themselves, the easier it is to help them to buy in. And also you can ask them, when you're feeling frustrated and you feel like you need to hit, what do you think would be best for you? Do you have a countdown that you want to do, or we can go out and sit for a few minutes and so on? So that can also be helpful. But let them know, even if you are not there, that if they're feeling frustrated and they feel the need to hit somebody, they can say, I need a timeout for myself right now until I feel better. And if they're with another adult, you can teach them to say to that adult, I am feeling very frustrated and I'm feeling very tired or angry right now. I need some time to be alone. You're teaching your child that when they feel those negative emotions, it's okay to take themselves out of the situation, to regroup and then come back. That's one of the positive outcomes of teaching them through this method.
Okay, what about the child? Sorry, I've got so many questions now. What about the child, though, it really does want to be alone? So they're in a group situation, they have to be in the group, and they don't want to be alone. Maybe they're extremely introverted, or they're a loner type, and or they just want you to themselves. So that would be like, well, I'm going to hit because I know that then I get to leave the group. And if you see that pattern, like I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I'm thinking that kids might be using that to get out of the group.
Okay, so they're using that to get out of interacting with their friends.
Yeah, or they're using it to get your attention outside of the group. Like if you go sit with them, then that works every time to get mommy and me alone.
One of the things that you can do, so you know when I said you can go into the bathroom,
Okay.
If they're using that as a way to get you away from others, you say to them, you will have to sit alone. I will go back with the other group. You have to make sure they're in a safe space as well.
Right.
Not
Depends on their age, but yes.
Yes. So you say, you seem like you really need a timeout. You seem like you really need to regroup. Take some time by yourself. I'm going to be with the other kids or the other family members. When you're ready, you feel quite fine to rejoin. Now, if the child is shy and doesn't want to be with the group, that kind of timeout is not the effective way to go. The
Okay.
best thing to do is solution oriented. You're
Okay.
feeling shy. What can we do to help you feel a little bit more included or want to be with the group? And they may come up with suggestions like, I would want to maybe start playing X game first, or the other kids are playing Y game. And then you might say to the other group, Sally really wants to be in the group, but she would like to play this first. Are you guys open to her doing that? So you help her to come with solutions that may help her, because sometimes we think that we should just push them into something, and children need time to warm up. She might say, I need to watch them a little bit more first. And you said, yes, you can watch a few minutes. And as you feel comfortable, you can come in whenever you want. So that's a way of supporting like a shy child instead of keeping them away. And let them know how happy it would be for the family or the friends or whoever they're interacting with to have them included. And when they decide to come in, everybody acknowledges them. Yes, thank you for joining us. We're happy for you to have you here, or whatever terms you want to use as well. But sometimes shy children need a good amount of time to warm up.
Yeah.
So instead of forcing them, give them the opportunity to warm up towards the group first and ask them, what do they need to warm up? Again, you're going to the solution. What do they need how do they need to be supported to get into the group? And you take the baby steps with them until they are fully integrated.
Okay, I have one more question because, okay, so I'm seeing this and I love the idea of asking the group, Sally wants to do this. Everybody's coloring, but Sally wants to play a different game, okay? Doesn't that then, if you ask the group, what if the group says, no, we want to keep coloring? Does then that say, Sally is free range to throw another fit? Or how do you get her, well, the group's going to color first and then we'll do your game?
Yes,
or
that's the
is
second
that what
one.
you do? Okay.
Yes. So you have to also teach her that they're already doing something. Again, regulating emotions.
Okay.
We have to wait until they're done because they're already in the middle of something. And then when they're finishing up, you can say, Sally would like to participate by doing X, Y, and Z. For those who want to participate with her doing that, you're welcome. But again, you're teaching her to respect other people's space and respect what someone is doing, which means she has to regulate herself and wait until someone is completing whatever task. So
because school is all about having to sort of do what other people are telling you. And so what a great thing, that emotional regulation is so validating, because you're saying, okay, everybody's coloring. This is what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes. And then, hey, group, Sally suggested our next activity is this. Do we all want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. Then she's, okay, helps her regulate her emotions, feeling validated.
Yes.
And then
if
she doesn't, then you can say, invite her to go to be alone and calm down again. Like, would this be something that maybe with some kids you would have to do over and over again to help them?
For some children it will take some time, but also while she's waiting, she doesn't have to just sit there being completely bored. She can find something else to do while she waits on the group to finish their particular task. But remember, parents, it's all about routine. This might not work the first, second, or third time. You have to do it consistently, and when children misbehave, logical consequence. You need to let them experience in that logic. And typical children will test the boundaries. We'll see if you're really joking. And so if you give up after the third or fourth time, then they're going to realize you're not serious. So you have to make sure that whatever commitment you make to your children, especially to say, when you hit, I am going to leave the room, you have to make sure you really leave the room. Even if it is an inconvenience for you.
I've been in that situation.
If you're cooking, turn off the stove.
Yeah.
Leave the room. The food can wait until your child says, okay, I'm not going to eat anymore. He says, thank you. Thank you for understanding the importance of respecting my body.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can go back and cook. So you have to be willing to be
That
inconvenienced.
really does work.
I think some parents too, they like, I'm in the store, it's really embarrassing.
I had to do that. I had to leave a Target one time, and
Yes.
it just ruined the whole thing. I had like 3 other kids with me, and my 1 2-year-old threw this fit, and went home, disciplined her, and then it never happened again. Once.
Yes.
I had to only do that once.
If you have to leave the cart jam-packed with stuff, walk out of the store.
That's what I have basically
Walk
had
out
to
of
do.
the store.
I
If
just
you
had to
want
say,
to
I'm
say,
sorry, we've got to go. And I grabbed all the kids. I was really
Mhm.
strong, honestly. I think I had 2 kids in one arm and 2 kids in another, walked out, and we just went home.
I have what I've done with what I did with my son when he was younger. I gave him a pep talk before we went into the stores, and I said to him, "We're gonna go into the stores, and we're gonna get. You can only get one item, only one. And if you throw a tantrum, we're gonna leave immediately. No discussion. We're gonna leave." And he did try it one time in Walmart, and then we left. And that was it. He never did it again because he realized that there was natural consequence. So sometimes as parents, we have to go through the inconvenience. We're in the middle of something, and we just have to stop it abruptly.
Yep.
And then go.
I'm so glad I did that with her because she was more of a strong-willed child than my other 2. And it worked. Like, it was really hard to leave. I didn't want to leave. I had a lot I wanted to do. And Target at the day, it was fun to be in Target. It was our activity for the day. Yeah. And but anyway, such great advice. Thank you so much. I learned so much about how I'm going to help be with my grandchildren.
Yes, logical consequences. Make sure it's related, it's respectful, it's reasonable and important, helpful. It must be a learning lesson. So if your child wants to be part of the social group, you have to be respectful, you have to be kind, you have to be patient with other people. That's how you can integrate into the social group. When you try to do something else, then you're not going to be able to connect with others. And you need a time out to, sometimes we get very emotional. Let's just calm down a bit. Yeah. And it's a very important thing to teach children, especially when they have confrontation.
That's why I love this method, is because number 1, you're validating the feelings. Well, you're teaching the feelings.
Exactly.
You're teaching how, and the reason as a counselor, I love that you're doing this for children is I get women in my office who are 25, 30, 40, 50, who have zero idea what their feelings are.
Yes, because they've been stumped out. Right.
Yeah, they're clueless as to what they really want in life or how they feel. And so if you're teaching this now in such a positive way, it's just going to really help.
Yeah, I'm feeling frustrated right now. I'm feeling tired right now. I need a little bit alone time to feel better again. That's what you're teaching them. So you're teaching them, like, your feelings are valid. And you can take yourself out of the group to regroup or calm down and then go back. Yeah. Instead of forcing your issues or your emotions on others, it's learning to take care of the emotions yourself from a young age.
And really, that's the old-fashioned way, is sort of like, shut up, little Jenny, and just conform to the group, and we don't care about your feelings. And then so that little kid, I'm not saying it was me, but that little kid is always, you're spinning around with the negative thought, like, well, what happened? I don't even know why I'm feeling. Why did I act like that? And so it's just great. What a great thing you're teaching. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's fascinating. All right, we'll see you later, everybody watching. Please like, comment, and share. Go to Dr. T's website, TanieshaBurke.com. She does teach parenting classes, of course, positive parenting, but also fascinating womanhood classes. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
Take care. Bye. Bye.